Welcome back to the Knifewear garage sale live streams. Yay! We have someone else. Like today, it's different a little bit. I look the same, I guess. Clean shaved. I think it's got a little different hairstyle.
Mike grew some hair.
I know, grow taller a little bit, and pumped, I guess, fit a little bit more. Yes, today we have a Colin from the Knifewear Calgary joining us for this, follow-up stream. We're going to talk about something like some leftovers, some latecomers. We're going to actually talk about some latecomers. We have actually found crazy good deals and as such. So, what are we doing today? So, garage sale. We have been doing this, we call it Knifewear garage sale, since 15th, the Monday, May the 15th, and we're gonna run until next Monday, May 22nd. It's like midnight, probably closes at midnight, probably. Somewhere around that. So, it sometimes have to shut off by a manual labor, so I'm not quite sure how it happens. But anyway, so garage sale is all about some of the unique knives, one-off kind of knives. Sometimes we are gonna actually talk about a little bit about they call it the beads, but seconds beads. Sometimes they have some of them in stock, and also a lot of cool one of a kind. We have this knife that's here that's been forged by Mazaki-san. It's one of, right? Every time we go to Japan, Kevin just went back to Japan about a month and a half ago. He was reconnecting with a lot of different knife makers, reconnecting with the friends, and find a lot of cool stuff. And that's kind of how it all started. I can't remember how long it was ago. Long time ago, Kevin went to Japan, and he was casually walking around the workshop or the shop and found a lot of stuff that he was like, oh, what's that? It's almost buying whole shelf full of knives that are available to him. And he put them in the suitcase, came back suitcases. Well, he actually even had to buy a new suitcase in the airport at the airport, and brought a bunch of knives back. And that's kind of how it all started. So it's all about knives that we don't usually carry, one-off, some prototypes maybe, those kind of stuff. And we run it twice a year. So this is the first one. Second one's going to be in November, right around the Remembrance Day. So that's we've been doing this live stream. We started on a Friday last week with preview. We did a marathon live streaming on Monday. We were probably on there for 6 hours. some kind of. And today we're just gonna do a little bit about wanted to talk about latecomers, what's left, and also kind of to wrap, I guess, things. Oh yes. Whoa. There is a little prompter saying the TOR or OMTO. What's happening in the city?
Knifewear Toronto is coming. So Kasumi, who is the longtime manager of Knifewear Calgary, has moved off to Toronto, opened up a store, 517 Bloor Street West in the Annex. We're looking to have a soft opening around June 1st with an official opening later in June. Super exciting. That's a really great neighborhood in Toronto, and I know we have a lot of customers and fans out there who are very much looking forward to having a Knifewear there.
Yeah, we're hoping to do a little bit more grand opening on 17th of June, 2 weeks in. We're gonna actually have a guest coming from Japan. Exciting. To
be announced.
Well, we've already said it a few times. So we'll have one of the Moritakas. Ooh. So that's one of the Moritakas because Moritakas are family business, and we are going to have a Teruhiro Moritaka-san. Moritaka-san's names are pretty hard because they kind of have that Teru and Hiro and Tsune, and they all kind of like Tsunetake, Tsunehiro, all combined together. It's like a puzzle, right? But I think Teruhiro-san is coming to visit us. He has been working there for quite some time, and he will probably be his uncle is the head of the workshop, And I think Teruhiro-san is going to be a head of the workshop in the future, where his brother is going to be a head of the business. You know how it works, right? So Teruhiro-san, it's more like the craftsman type, is coming to visit us, and we're going to have a bit of knife chat, how the knives are made, because like Moritaka-san is one of those very rare knife maker and blacksmiths that we deal with who does pretty much everything in house. Like they don't just forge, they don't just do like one part, they do it basically from start to finish, right? So pretty interesting. We'll have some it's like a guest speaker, right? Like probably have it like chair or set up, and also we'll probably have the hot dogs and something. So stay tuned for those people living in Toronto. Alrighty, so I think that's enough for the intro for today's live stream. Let's talk about some late comers. Alrighty, we just got some Minamo, few things. So this is the Yoshimi Kato-san's the Minamo SG2. You probably had this at the store too.
We had one of them. We had the Nakiri, and I think it sold on the first or second day.
Yeah, it was
They're beautiful, really nice and thin, stainless, and that pattern that's hammered on there is quite unusual. I haven't seen anything. I haven't really seen anything quite like that. It reminds me of some of the stuff that maybe Yu Kurosaki would do. And I know that Kato-san and Kurosaki-san know each other, so maybe they're trading secrets. But
and inspired, basically.
Inspired.
Right?
That's a beautiful looking knife. It's really thin too. The grind is quite exquisite. If you like a knife that's just going to glide through dense stuff like it's not even there, something that stays sharp a long time as long as carbon, it doesn't rust easily.
So we just got 240 Minamo in, and it's about to go live. I'm just using my magic wand hand to get that, let that happen.
Now
The
till
magic
spells
wand
make
with
things
Magic
Wi-Fi.
wand with Wi-Fi. So
This one is SG2, yeah?
yes, that's just two. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually had a question. Custom Knives was asking for a recommendation on SG2 Gyutos. This is the one.
It's
this is the one you
beautiful.
want.
Minamo means Minamo the word itself means the water surface, but this is I guess depicted from the water surface when it's raining, like you see all the circles.
Yeah, like little droplets of
Yeah,
water and ripples or
Yes,
something in a
yes.
pool.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is beautiful. He's been trying a lot of different like hammer patterns and stuff, right? Like we had we call it the hishime, or the those square hammer patterns before. We've seen we actually had this. This is also latecomers. It's the same Kato. We had this before too, but the SG2
Black Damascus.
Black Damascus.
Yeah.
Some people call it Chevron Damascus, right? Like so, it's got this pattern going and the other.
I
pattern
saw
going.
a 240 Gyuto of this line come through one time that had been run over by a car and bent back. And we managed to get it back into like working order again. And when we were done with it, like it had such a big chip in it, it looked just about like this one does now.
Gyuto becomes Tsujihiki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the natural order of things, you know?
It is.
It's really nicely thinly sharpened though. This like, so yeah, if it's going to go through, say like, this is great bacon knife. If you don't want like, it's time of the year, you get to go barbecue some things, and if you're gonna slice down some, carve down the bacon that you smoke, this will be a fantastic option.
Yeah. Really nice handles on all these knives as well. Like the grain of the wood is really nice. This looks almost like tiger stripes, right?
What kind of wood is this?
That's rosewood.
And rosewood has so much natural variation. It's pretty wild. Like, look at the stripes on that guy. Each one's going to be a little bit different. Natural wood, right?
Something that exciting actually. Like this is great. These came in. I'm really excited about the this 240. But something actually came in And was surprised to see was these guys here. I'm gonna move this over to the table there.
Yep.
So we had quite a few Gihei knives. Gihei-san, this blacksmith in this Sanjo Tsubame or Tsubame Sanjo area. He is one of the very few who uses the half 40 steel to make kitchen knives with. This particular line is Aogami number 2 with the stainless clad, but he calls it these seconds, or they put the B's on them, the B class. Nothing wrong with the heat treatment, quality of the edge, and as such. Only thing, the reason why this is called the B is that I don't know if you can see, uneven exposure of the core steel here, yeah. So that the heel part, it's not like core is not as much exposed as the tip does, and the back side is like that, right? So this side exposed a little bit more, but still pretty nice and even.
Yeah.
And for as far as edge goes, there is actually edge here.
Yeah.
So it's nothing wrong with it. But it's $220 regular price. They're not really great with the numbers, I think. $220 regular price, 220 Canadian dollars regular price, and it's $154.70.
That's a crazy good deal.
And I'm sure this will go live soon. Gihei seconds.
We've got Nolan over putting these live on the warehouse, these late arrivals. So you're seeing it first on the internet, and then it's going live to our website straight after.
Yeah. So they should go live right now, and I see a thumbs up from Nolan. So these ones, Gihei Aogami, I think Aogami / I have to double check on the exact description, but it would be a Gihei Aogami stainless, Nashiji, Petty 150. We have about 12 of these, and we only have one Santoku.
Oh, just one?
Yeah, just one.
Get it while it's hot, folks.
Yeah.
Don't wait.
It's like 30, yeah, more than 30% off. So it's great deal. So yeah, I mean, like each one's like this one here also, right? It just really the heel, the cladding comes down a little bit farther down.
That's really mostly just cosmetic, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's still super sharp. It still
there's
has a nice
edge
bevel.
here. Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like single bevel, right?
Yeah.
Right here, right?
Yeah.
And then when you sharpen them, when you thin them by yourself, it's just gonna expose them from both sides.
Yep.
You can do it evenly. So it's great deal. Never been used. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Can I just say too that having a petty like this that's got a bit of height to it, like you get knuckle clearance on it. So some petties you can't really use the whole edge on the board, but this one's tall enough that you can. It makes a really great utility, almost a mini Santoku mini Gyuto kind of utility level.
So we have these. Doom. So those are all petties. So for this who's still looking for something super cool, great deals. Here you are. So these are great Gihei Aogami stainless Nashiji. Second B. The product description will say -second in the seconds, I think, in all capital letters. So go for it. It's great deal. I'm glad that we found something that like this, that we can talk about. It's just like, these shouldn't be in, they are pretty good.
I might have to grab one of those petties. That's such a good deal. And also, I had to give away my petty.
You may.
You had to give away your petty, Sky?
Well, so my mom doesn't ask for a lot, but when she came to visit me the last time, she saw my SG2 Black Damascus Yoshimi Kato petty. And she was like, "Oh, do you think you could get me one of these?" But it wasn't garage sale time, and I was like, "Mom, you just take it, okay? Happy Christmas."
You're a good daughter.
Oh, that's good.
Happy Mother's Day to your mom.
But now I owe Tyler another one because we don't have anything else to peel our oranges with for his old fashions.
Well, there are a few things that we didn't have in our warehouse when we did the marathon live stream because we distribute some of the knives to the stores. For those of you who's watching, we have physical stores, not just online presence. We have Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, Ottawa, and soon to be Toronto. Toronto.
Okay.
Yes, you're
so
corrected. Yes,
it is properly Toronto, but
yeah.
I lived in Toronto for 20 years. No one who lives there calls it that. You get variations on Toronto, but never Toronto.
There's no vowel in between T and O, right? Tra.
Yeah, lots of people say Trana,
Trana.
Trana, Trana.
Yeah, that's how cool kids.
It's like
probably
Calgary
call it, right?
versus Calgary.
Yeah, there's Calgary and Calgary. Anyway, so here's some like cool stuff. We actually received a few more of the Shinkiro as well. Let's talk about, well, I guess we have this for a little while. So, for those who have watched our live shows, probably know a little bit, one or two things about this. Troll Killer, we're hoping to have more coming in next probably, couple months to a year. Troll Killer, the onigoroshi in Japanese, they call it. This is hand-folded Damascus Yanagiba by the Go Yoshizawa-san. He is such a talented blacksmith. I have seen his work through the Instagram. I've talked to him online and in person. His view, his vision, and his vision of becoming blacksmith, as well as actually the person who wants to lead the knife making industry in that particular region, is fantastic. He wants to hire more younger people. He wants to entice people to come work at the Niigata, the Aomori region, and yet he still does lots of hand laminated the Damascus steel like these. We get to watch how he does this Troll Killer forging, and it was incredible. He stacks up, he's probably started from this much thick, about
150 millimeters
Yeah.
of billet.
Yeah.
Stacks of layers of steel.
Yeah, at least 4 inches
Wow.
stack
Yeah.
of steel, put it in the fire, hammers it out, and he folds it and hammers it, makes it until pretty about an inch thick rivet. Then put the hagane or the carbon steel, the core steel, then do it a few times. So that's incredible work.
It's a lot of work.
And as far as I can tell, he's still the only one who does that kind of the forging in that region there. But his vision as well is great. He hires a lot of younger people for the workshop as well. He's hoping that the area of the Aomori, that area, the Hirosaki, becoming a more like a takefu, right? Entice more younger people so that they can start their own things. We've talked to a few of the younger guys who's working there, and they all wanted to become a knife maker, sharpener, or the blacksmith, all combined. So it was really, really good that we get to know him and know that region and have that beautiful knife from him. Right?
Yeah, that Troll Killer is really stunning. It's hard to see just how many layers there are, but that is not a glitch on your screen, folks. All of these are little tiny layers of hand-folded Damascus. It's got some girth to it too. This is a thicker knife. I don't know if I'd actually go out and kill trolls with it. You might chip it doing that, but definitely butchering troll next time you have to do some of that. That's your knife.
Yeah. It's like the Demon Slayer knife, right?
Yeah.
Next one here is the. This is actually becoming one of my favorite knife from this knife. Engraved with the Hatsukokoro. Hatsukokoro. No, it doesn't actually have Hatsukokoro engraved. But this is Hatsukokoro. There's no engraving. Anyways, so this one we have it as a Hatsukokoro Shinkiro. Shinkiro means mirage. Well, what's the thing that you see,
in the desert.
Desert, yeah.
Yeah, you think there's water up ahead, but it's not. It's just a mirage.
Yeah. So they call it mirage. This is also the hand-forged welded Damascus.
Is it?
By the Nihei-san in Fukushima.
Really?
Yeah.
That Damascus is so intricate.
Yeah.
Like, it's gorgeous. I love
Wait,
the
it
little
may
drops
actually-
on the
no,
edge.
Wait, this might have been. I'll have to double check. The other one here, the Hyomon, it's the same blacksmith as Hyomon. We only had a 2 of. So this is Aogami Super version. It's beautiful layer of Damascus with really clean kurochi finish, and I love the little kind of island, like left on the Hagane part. Really beautifully sharpened as it's got really nice convexity. It's really nice, the hamaguri edge on it. Nihei-san learned his skill in, guess where?
Yoshikane?
Yes. So
That's a safe bet
Yeah,
because so many amazing blacksmiths have trained there, right?
yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
It's very Yoshikane or the very Sanjo style forging technique as well, right? It's got quite thick spine here, and it tapers it pretty nice and thin.
Yeah.
It's very Sanjo style. It's not the because Fukushima, the region itself, does not have the its own blacksmithing history. Although Fukushima is the last place of this samurai clan, or when the Meiji Restoration happened, there was the fight between the newly formed modern government versus old samurai clan that wanted to preserve all the rights and privileges that they were enjoying,
Right.
and those were taken off. And I mean some of right reasons, but sometimes it doesn't work for those people. So there was fight against those people, and the one of the leading samurai clan were from the Fukushima. It's called Byakutai, or the White Tiger. But because they lost, they didn't have the much political presence, or the blacksmith. Those cultures kind of had lost. Anyway, so they did have really strong samurai culture in Fukushima, although it wasn't available until very, very recently. Nihei-san, his family, he is from the family of knife sellers, like retail, but he wanted to kind of up the level. He was sharpening pretty well, so he wanted to up the level. So he went to Yoshikane and learned the crafts. So now he's making beautiful, beautiful knife like these.
Yeah. Something I really like about this, apart from it having Aogami Super, which holds an edge like crazy and is one of my favorite steels, is that this has some weight on it. Like with that thicker spine that Naoto was talking about, that nice taper. This is nice and thin behind the edge. Kind of hard to see that in the camera. Very, very thin behind the edge, but that thicker spine means it's not a light knife. It's not going to bend too easily, right?
And there isn't not much too much core exposure or anything like that. It's really well balanced, well made knife for sure. Something that we only got a 4 of each, and all of them went to the stores, so we're gonna get to talk about this knife. This is really nice. It's AS10 with the so this is OUL. It's the former brand of the Hado. It's got a really beautiful blue handle to it. AS10 stainless steel with the really beautiful Damascus with Kiritsuke finish. You know what I found the other day? I was sharpening the one of the AS10 knives, and I was thinning it. I found AS10, despite the hardness, was pretty close to the VG10, like Rockwell scale 60 to 61. This has probably less wear resistance. It cuts much faster. It's so much easier to sharpen than a VG10.
It's true. Yeah, I've sharpened some AUS 10 knives as well and been fairly surprised at how easy they grind compared to something like VG10.
Yeah. So it's really good when it comes to. So it will keep its really nice for the hardness, but when it comes to resharpening, this comes really, really great. It's got really not fantastic balance point where, you know, I'm just like putting my finger right here, pinch, you can pinch up the grip here. It makes it really good, good all around. Even a great gift as well, right? It's kind of, looks kind of cool looking, and yeah. Let's talk about the last one. I mean, I guess we had them. we didn't get to talk about them. It's like, I love this. You know what? This particular knife, Santoku, is the first knife.
That's the first one you ever got?
Yeah, I've ever
the
got.
Tadafusa.
Tadafusa with this walnut
Walnut
handle. It's got a really nice balance. Origami number 2 with the stainless clad on the outside. I still use them time to time. It's fantastic. Holds it really nice. Sharpens them very good, nice and easy. But the handle, it makes it really nice, right? It's the I don't know if you had. We haven't had this one for like.
No, I haven't seen that one. I see it every now and again.
Yeah,
they come back for sharpening.
Yeah.
I noticed something that's interesting with this one though is the edge profile isn't quite as flat as some Nikiri. Is that more of a regional kind of difference?
They call it the Azumagata or something. It's more like they call it Western, Eastern style.
Yeah. Almost like a little bit curvy.
Yeah, I don't know if there's actually any like flat spot on that. Maybe a little bit like here, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's got a
Little bit,
real
yeah.
nice rock.
Yeah.
It's not like a huge rock. It's not like a Mesaluna or anything.
No.
But if you wanted a Nikiri that is going to be a little easier on your wrist when you're chopping, that little bit of curvature makes it nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, seems like there are a few questions that we can maybe able to answer.
Absolutely. All right. So first up, we've got from our buddy Charminator. He's asking, did Masashi make any specials for the garage sale?
Who?
Masashi.
Sometimes he does.
Sometimes. But we did
Sometimes.
get some from Yoshikane, yeah?
Yeah, we have some.
Yeah,
from
that might be
Yoshikane.
worth checking out.
So Masashi-san, he is up in the game these days, and he has been making some knives. There are probably next November you'll see some cool stuff, as well as the. So this year, I'll just give you a little bit of insight. This is his 10-year anniversary year since he started his own workshop. So he will be traveling. Oh yeah, he'll be traveling all around to see those people, who he like and who he deals with. And he probably is coming to visit us, hoping to see him in the fall, in September, October-ish. And I've heard the rumors that he may be working on something, special, for that occasion. So stay tuned. So you may see something super cool coming out from him, like in the fall.
That is exciting.
And I just pulled out something a little special from Masashi. This is a demo knife that we had at our Calgary store. So it came time for its first sharpening, and we thinned out the primary bevel. It's a little scratchier, right? It's not like as polished as Masashi makes it, but still nice and thin behind the edge. And I'm not sure if this one is live on the website yet. Oh, now to just activate it, folks, this one is 35% off. SLD, which is a semi-stainless steel, but when Masashi forges it, somehow he makes it much more towards the stainless end. Just really beautiful with this kind of dark kurouchi look on the Damascus and the more polished bevel.
Kuroshu. So just so you know, this is under the product so-called the retired demo gently used refurbished knives, and there is a drop-down menu to choose that knife. We didn't have time actually to take picture of this particular knife, but you can see the drop-down menu, and there's the Masashi Kuroshu Santoku 165 millimeters, along with other refurb knives as well. So it's newly updated version of the list, and they have like some old photos of the other products, but we didn't have time to take picture of each individual one. But well, if you're curious, you can just add it and get the. They are really, all of them are actually nicely done, and we'll have the time to actually show you each one of these. Okay.
Yeah.
It's crazy that this is left over. Like these almost always go immediately,
Yeah.
and especially Musashi.
Well, I mean,
Cool.
this one is kind of a late arrival to the internet anyway,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Yeah.
we had it in the store, but it was a store exclusive, right? We like to have a few knives that
Yeah.
you can only buy in store, and then we'll try and add that back to the website as we go along. So that one just got added back. If you want it, snag it, because that one's
Yeah.
going to go fast.
Absolutely.
Alrighty.
All right, so next question. Our buddy Nublet was wondering, do you guys have any of the Nigara SG2 Western colorful handles left?
We should.
Think so,
not
yeah.
here on our here. Like we have other stores that we send knives to.
I'll check.
Yeah, if you go online and there should be a drop-down menu. We made it because each ones are so uniquely made, like colors and stuff. And we took the picture just to match. So you should be able to see if they're available. You should be able to see those ones on the website, pretty close up. We can if there's any I guess specific town you want to take a look or want to see. We can always you can contact us at the Hello@Knifewear, and we can find out where that knife actually is, and we can contact them saying, hey, can you take a picture of this, right, left, top, bottom, the choil shot or whatever from the store. So yeah, let us know.
Looks like they were specifically looking for the Kiritsuke Nikiri. And yeah, we actually do. It says we've got 7 of them on the
Yeah.
website. So you
So-
can order those now. They're
So
released from
we
the main
did
stores.
send to the stores pretty good because we don't have them here.
Yeah, none to show off today, but they are available if you want to
Mm-hmm.
snap one up. And then our buddy Owl Woodworks heard that we're coming to Victoria. And yeah, we've been kind of teasing it on social media a little bit, but we've got 2 pop-ups coming the way later this summer. In Victoria, we're going to be there from June 3rd to the 4th at the Victoria Public Market. And then later on this summer, we're going to be in Montreal. And we'll have more details on that coming soon, too.
Oh,
That's exciting.
That's
Yeah,
exciting.
super exciting.
Beautiful cities.
Yeah, everybody needs knives, so it's nice that we're able to get out and tour around.
But yeah, come say hi. We would love to see you.
Yeah.
I
love Victoria.
And
Beautiful
then
city.
Yeah.
Patrick was wondering if he could take a closer look at the Mizaki Nikiri.
Wazaki Nakiri, yes.
Yes. Looking for something with Kurochi that would take well to polishing on stones. Yeah, this is a great one for that.
This is really good. The price is $275.
That's it?
Yeah, I know. How much we always talk about how much he puts, how much work he puts on to make a single knife.
Yeah.
And he literally only charges this much. So I don't know if you knew so when he makes knives, when most knife makers make knives, they forge the blade and heat treat them. And when it comes to the sharpening, you know what they use, right? This big wheel stone that goes this way and sharpens the bevel, and they progress they use the very coarse one to grind the bevel, expose the coarse steel, then goes to a little bit of finer and a little bit of finer. And some places they use the sand blast. Some places they use this sand to kind of evens it out, that kind of stuff. You know what he does? He does use one wheel.
Yeah.
That's what does the heavy lifting first, right? Because it's just really blank steel, so you have to grind quite a bit to expose the core. Then he does everything else by hand. By hand means there is no actual power tools.
Machinery, no power tools.
No
Wow.
power tools from that point.
Yeah.
It's hard. Each one. He's a manufacturer. He shouldn't be doing. He does it because what he does is that's why you see that this lines that goes little diagonal to the diagonal this to the edge, right? Because he does this.
So what that says to me is that if someone is looking to do some of their own bevel polishing, this is going to make their life a lot easier because
Yes.
that bevel's flat.
Yeah.
You know, when knives get sharpened and polished on the big rounded wheels, sometimes they can end up getting a bit concave. And then if you put it on a flat stone, it doesn't touch everything, and it can be kind of hard to do that bevel polishing without flattening first. This is ready. That being said, I mean, the finish that's on it right now is beautiful. It's really nice and even. The core is shiny.
Yeah.
The cladding is misty.
And it's not too thin either. It's got
Yeah.
a really nice convexity here as well. So it's fantastic. How it's made always amazes me. Like,
Yeah, that's a lot of knife for the money.
yeah. Yes. So that's that. So the garage sale. We're doing.
Yeah. So this is our garage sale kind of catch up, wrap up live stream. We're talking about late arrivals. We're talking about some scratch and dent. And really the garage sale is the most exciting time of the year at Knifewear. It's a time where we bring in a whole bunch of knives we don't normally carry. And that can be everything from really rare, one-of-a-kind stuff through to things that are super good value and everything in between. We'll have some knives that are discounted. There'll be some scratch and dent, some refurbished knives. Just a great time for anyone who's familiar with Knifewear to see a bunch of different stuff. For people who are not familiar with Knifewear to get a deal or to get something special. It all started years ago when the owner of Knifewear, Kevin Kent, would go off to Japan and see all these other knives. So he's visiting blacksmiths and factories and just kind of seeing, oh, what's those boxes of knives gathering dust there? Oh yeah, that's a discontinued line? I'll take them. And then we can clear those out at a discount. Or seeing some rare, wonderful knife and be like, I've never seen a knife that's quite like that. What is that? Oh, it's a prototype. Well, can I buy it and sell it off at the garage sale? So it used to be, you know, when Knifewear was just one store, it used to be Kevin coming back with a suitcase full of knives. And now we've got stores in Edmonton, Vancouver, Ottawa. Of course, we're here in Calgary, and Toronto's coming soon. So there's a lot more knives, not just Kevin with one suitcase, but he was back there doing the tour a few weeks ago. And Naoto here does a lot of ordering, has a lot of connections that he's developed over the years to be able to bring in all this rare, wonderful, interesting, fun stuff.
So today we're talking about like some of the leftovers, like it's almost like why are you still here type of knives, as well as the just a reminder for the great deals that we have. We just talked about the Gihei seconds, or they call it Bs. A lot of them, those were really great examples of great deals like that, as well as the late arrivals. We just activated some of the late arrival demos, scratch and dent section as well. We just updated the list as well. So go there and to find, get the deal if you're looking for a deal as well. But let's move on to talk about some knives like, oh yeah, we had them but I thought it's gonna fly out like right off the butt. But why are you still here? Yeah. That's like right here. I mean, like some of them I understand. It's like, Mazaki Honyaki is kind of hard, I guess, right? But the other way, because it's mirror image. So we still have a few of the funky, fancy custom handles left. So the like this one is really nice. It's actually really well priced. This is Fujin. If you're looking for any of the custom handles, all of these have the title custom handle, or there is a button to click and find all the custom handles as well. This one's the Kurosaki Fujin Petty 120 with beautiful, the stabilized wood with the rings and double horn.
Did you put those handles on, Naoto?
Yeah.
Yeah, good job. They look really good.
They look pretty good. We did this here as well. The
Sumi, the Kobunka.
Yeah, Sumi Kobunka, really tall bevel, hey?
Maruyama-san, who is the head sharpener at Hado, is just a genius. The way that he sharpens these really tall bevels. But I love the Sumi because it's got this rustic kurouchi black hammered finish. And then Maruyama-san polishes the spine and the choil. Yeah. So it looks rustic, but it feels so refined in the hand.
Exactly, right? Yeah. It's beautifully sharpened and beautifully made. Sometimes you get the knives without a handle, and we put the handle on here. One of our coworkers, Nolan, he got so we kind of chose the handle together. Like which handle should we put this and that kind of stuff. Like this one here, the Sakai Takayuki Zere Ginga, the Galaxy. We happen to have the knife without a handle, so we basically put the really fancy handle. It's pretty though, like balance. It goes super well with this grain.
Yeah, the grain of that wood somehow really lines up with the grain of the Damascus.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I think we did a good job like choosing the right handle for the right knife, I think.
Yep. It's like you know what you're doing or something.
Yeah.
Have you done this before?
A few times, We have the this is more focused on the blade. You don't know much about this guy here, right?
Who is that?
It's called Shuji Toyama.
No.
Yeah.
Who's
so
that?
Shuji Toyama is this knife maker who used to be a head blacksmith at the Tadahusa.
Okay.
We had the Tadahusa with the blue carbon steel with stainless
Right.
clad,
Yeah.
or the Hojo Kobo. They do sometimes make the single bevel knife as well. He's retired. He used to work there for a very long time, and like any other, I guess, company men, who used to work at those places. He retired at the age of I think 60 or 65, and started his own workshop. His production is very scarce. He doesn't make as many, but the skill that he, I guess, accumulated over the years in Tadahusa, he makes like beautiful single bevel knife like these. He makes like some other shapes as well, but really beautiful kusumi finish and nice handle. Like it's got a nice nashiji on them too.
Yeah. That handle is like the other ones in that it's got the rings, the metal rings in it, and it's got water buffalo horn collar and a water buffalo horn butt cap. But for those who maybe don't want the kind of colored stabilized wood, that looks like rosewood or ebony maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it's real nice and dark. It's got a beautiful grain, but it's a little more subtle while still having some pop from those rings and the double horn.
I love their engraving, like the job though. I love any like
Hand engraved knives.
engraving.
Yeah.
I guess like font or techniques that done in this area, like very Sanjo style, right?
Yeah.
It's very big and wild. Like, it flows very nicely. So it's Mazaki, right? Like I love Mazaki's engraving. It's like flows really nicely. But this one here, one of a kind, truly. That's why I didn't go to the store.
Right.
No one knew about him. But you can probably guess.
That looks like a honyaki to me.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. It is honyaki by the Naoki Mazaki-san. Blue number 1 carbon steel. And you see the big hamon right here. Right?
So for those of you who don't know what honyaki is, it means true forged, and it's a way of making knives where you use one piece of steel, but you harden different parts of the knife in different amounts, typically by cladding clay onto the spine, which is what creates these wavy lines. So the spine is a little bit tougher. It gives the knife a bit of ductility so that it'll bend a little, it'll flex a little, but then the edge can be super, super hard, all in one piece. Most of the knives you're gonna see on this live stream today would be sanmai, 3 layers, or maybe if it's a single bevel, it would be nimai, 2 layers, because the middle layer is super hard and then they clad soft steel on the outside. So that's like, those layers of patterned steel, that's all softer steel, and then the core is very hard. Making honyaki is tough. A lot of knives fail doing that. A lot of knives will bend or crack. Not all blacksmiths can do it. It's a real testament to Mazaki-san's abilities that you can make a honyaki like that. It's stunning.
Also, as you can see though, it's got really, really nice convexity, hey? Like by looking at like this, the reflecting light, it's super nice convex hand ground finish.
Yeah.
It is stunning.
Nice tall bevel.
Yeah.
When you have that kind of convex bevel, it helps with food separation. So when you go to cut something, it can still be really nice and thin, but it just kind of pushes the food off a little bit. Yeah, that's...
Yeah, this is really beautifully made, beautifully sharpened.
got a couple of questions for you guys.
Hi.
All right. Daniel was wondering if there's any news or estimated time for Takeda.
Unfortunately,
Everybody
not.
loves Takeda.
It seems like what he seems to be doing is that he basically, deals with one order at a time. As soon as we received the last batch, there was another order just placed, but haven't heard back.
They're on
them.
order.
Yes.
They're always all on order.
I think last time it was about a year or so in between our orders.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in getting Takedas, make sure that you sign up for our newsletter. Follow us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because we'll definitely let people know when we have a batch of Takedas.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming we'll do what we did last time.
Yeah.
Let everyone know and then do a drop. So it goes on sale all at the same time.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah. Last year it's sold out in 48 hours, I think, the whole order from Takeda. So
Yeah.
make sure you're aware of it, and then when it does go on sale, do not hesitate, jump on it.
Yeah.
Great knives, amazing.
So good. Charminator was wondering if we have any traditional kiritsukes.
Traditional kiritsukes. This is very traditional kiritsukes.
Yeah. Got one right here.
Yeah, but we have this here, there.
And really quick, how would you define a traditional kiritsuke, Naoto?
I don't know so traditional kiritsuke. The traditional kiritsuke is it may be a little bit taller, maybe. Kiritsuke was originated or they mainly used to cut the they call it yosemono or awasemono, which is the not a congeal stuff. It's the one of those jello type of like say not a pate, terrine, like in a French cuisine.
Okay.
In Japan, people that use the fish bone, and they get the gelatin out of it, and they make a broth out of fish bone, and it has enough gelatin so that if you cool them, it kind of makes it like a jello, savory jelly type of situation. And this is designed to cut those things with, and it was nice and straight, nice and a little bit taller. I wouldn't call this a exactly super traditional kiritsuke. I probably would say would be a little bit taller, but traditionally it's a single bevel. But this one is as traditional. It gets it's forged by the Yoshikazu Tanaka-san, sharpened by the Nomura-san in Osaka. It's really nice and straight bevel, pretty straight edge. Oftentimes people say it's kiritsuke because the tip like this. So as this one here. But now people use lots of single bevel was originally the kiritsuke, but now there are a lot of kiritsuke. Just the tip looks like this, and the kiritsuke is like gyuto, like Kurosaki does it all the time. Yeah, that was good. So we have these guys with the kiritsuke, but this is single bevel, no double bevel, right? So there's but traditionally it's single bevel, and you can do some hado. Has the really nice kiritsuke. I would probably use this to do the slicing sashimi or skinning of fish, that kind of stuff.
With the single bevel kiritsuke, it's often flat enough, like this one is flat enough that you could do some rotary peeling, like katsuramuki at the back. I mean, Nusuba is maybe a little more ideal for that, but having that flat back on a kiritsuke does allow you that option too. Were there some other questions?
Yeah. John was wondering if there were any other incoming heaters like the Manaka N series, the Hashimoto Coreless Twist, or Hinora River Jumps.
Yes, they're all older. They're coming sometime. River Jump maybe. I have to double check with the supplier. And last time I heard from Manaka-san was a couple months ago that he was going to send it. I thought it's going to make it for this garage sale, but it didn't.
Oh no.
So I'm hoping to see them sooner or later. But I've been kind of communicating with him for a little bit. Other than that, Hashimoto Coreless Twist is also really, really cool. We only get them when we get them. just not a secret, but now we have to kind of order them, right? We
John-
can't just like, hey. So we do actually have some standing order with the Hashimoto-san.
John, if this is a life or death situation where you absolutely need one of these knives and everything in your life depends on it, maybe join us for the Toronto grand opening. Maybe. I don't know. Just pop by. Say hi. Not related to the garage sale, but JF was wondering about the black Hasegawa boards.
Yes, it's coming in.
They're coming.
They're on the boat.
They're on the boat?
They're on the boat.
All right. They're on their way.
They're on their way.
We'll let you know. We'll put out a big email about it.
Yeah, they're on the boat. Yes. Yeah, already on the boat.
And Kureska was asking, what would you advise as the next buy? They've currently got a 210 bunka and are searching for a new knife. Was thinking a paring or petty and was looking for Yu Kurosaki maybe.
Yeah, petties are great.
Yeah. Budget about 350 pounds. Nope, euros.
Well,
Well,
look
that's
no
Specific.
further.
Yeah, I think we got it for you.
Right there, custom handle, Kurosaki Fujin. VG10, I think, in this one. Super beautiful. Kurosaki's really known for his unusual hammering, and this is no exception. It's beautiful. And a really good size, too. It's not like a huge knife, so you could definitely use this one in your hand for peeling, but you could also use it on the cutting board. We got a few other petties here. This is from Mutsumi Hinura. That's the Ajikataya, I believe. Or no, wait. Oh no, that's an Anryu. It's an Anryu. My bad. Looks very similar, but there it is, Echizen Anryu. So this is Aogami Super in the core, and looks like it's stainless clad on this. I'm seeing that nickel line. That's like my favorite all-time combination. Super blue, stays sharp longer than most carbon steels, but doesn't rust as easily as some, and this has got stainless cladding. Really nice hammering on it, Tsuchime. It's kind of like a dark look with the rosewood and the dark collar. Of course, it is carbon steel, so if you wanted a stainless steel petty, this one's Saji, Rainbow Damascus, VG10 core. So the Rainbow Damascus is kind of like Mokume Gane, I guess. Like there's layers of copper and brass, gives it some like different colors. It's really, really pretty. What else we got here?
That's Nakagawa,
Oh,
Aogami number
Nakagawa.
1 with the Damascus. Beautiful, like beautifully forged. It's got nice, relatively tall bevel compared to some knife makers. It's great knife. It only gets down is the potential of the rust,
Yeah,
oxidization a little bit. So
that's a full carbon knife. So you just got to wipe it as you go.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't want a knife that's going to stain, don't buy a carbon steel knife.
Yeah.
But if you're willing to wipe it as you go and clean it as soon as you're done, carbon's awesome. It's really easy to keep sharp.
yeah, but yeah, the Kurosaki, like we have Fujin with a custom handle, as well as like regular Senko and the other type of knives as well. One thing I wanted to show, and I was gonna talk about it later on at this show, is the petty. Kobayashi-san makes a fantastic knife. Like we have them for quite some times. Recently, though, we noticed that the way he finishes his Damascus lines changed a little bit, and it almost looks like a Kuroshu. It's got
Whoa,
almost like a two-tone color goes on, right? Like it's a polished front. Like it's not distinct bevel. It's like really nice and even. There is no shinogi, but the color changes and switches like from the mythical, I guess, line there, right?
Yeah, the back of it is a little bit cloudy looking,
Yeah.
and then it tapers to this really nicely polished edge.
Yeah. So they have the petty SG2, and the look is like really cool. I really like the how this looks. 150 mil petty is like it's supposed to 120. Comes a little bit different use for it, right? Like this is great when you're cutting down a tenderloin or taking a sinew off. It's a little bit more thinner tip to it, so it gets in a little bit nice, and you'll be able to clean the meat very nicely. Where the 120 could be a little bit short for that. You still could do that, right? But the longer blade will be able to, like pork tenderloin. This is that knife for pork tenderloin, I think. It's great, take it cleaning and it looks awesome. So I just wanted to mention, because I looked at it, and we just got a new batch in, and looked at it, I'm like, oh, we actually need to re-photo shoot our product page, because it looks so different. And our professional photographer, she will be taking the new product photo of these guys.
I love how these have changed too. Like they're going to be so much easier to maintain over time. And when that bevel is built in like that, it just makes a world of difference.
This is beautiful. So hopefully that helped to to give you a little bit of idea of what petty you may want.
Beautiful. Well, we've got a couple more specific knife requests. I don't think they're ones that we have, but some hot button ones. Nublet was wondering about Myojin SG2 and Tetsujin 240 Gyutos in the future.
We have Tetsujin Sujihiki here.
Okay.
I stole it from the store. We had one, so I wanted to showcase. Tetsujin, so the 240 Gyutos are on order. It should be coming hopefully in next couple months to 6 months or a year. Great, group of blacksmiths, or the one blacksmith with the one fantastic sharpener, Toru Tamura-san, who used to work with us here in Calgary, and the Myojin-san, who apprenticed under a lot of different sharpeners, and now he is probably one of the best sharpeners in the kitchen knife making world in Japan. But we do have a Sujihiki. Agami number 2 is Sujihiki. We do not have the SG2 lines under the Myojin, unfortunately. We try to focus a little bit more on the blacksmithing side as well as the Myojin, instead of the just Naohito Myojin Saku, because the blade itself is the R2 blade that that Myojin made is it's not done by the Toru-san, so wanted to kind of feature more on the Tetsujin, right? It's like the Toru and the Myojin-san. So we had a really good chat with the in the Tosa when we went there, and had a really good hadn't seen Toru for it was like probably 10 years, because the Toru Tamura-san used to work for us, went back to Japan and apprenticed under Hiroshi Kato. Worked with the Yu Kurosaki and those people. Then he did off to the Shimizu-san, learned how to do the double bevel. Oh no, sorry, single bevel. The single bevel. And he went to some other blacksmith in that region. Then he moved to the Kochi. So
speaking of Toru-san, do we have any other knives from him in this Grosso? I thought I saw some.
What a Tomoshibi? The
Tomoshibi, that's from him, right?
Yeah. We didn't have the. So Tomoshibi line, we have them like a few lines. I always like to kind of feature them. It's not like too special these days. But this is special. We don't even have this.
That's the first time I've seen that one from Tomoshibi.
Yeah.
We just get those in?
Yeah, we just got those in.
That's exciting.
Like only a few.
210 millimeter Usuba?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This Usuba is great. The he forge welds everything in house, like for the double bevel knives, right? No, sorry, single bevel knives. Yeah. So I have one of his special. I think like on that video that we did about what knife, like I can't recall the video, like the video of me talking about my collection of knives.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't know if it went out or anything. Did it? Probably.
Yeah, that's out.
Yeah. One of which was the one of the first knife from Toru.
Oh.
I'd always kept saying that I want a Sujihiki that can thin so that I can slice sashimi with. Yeah. And one day he was like, Naoto-san, here.
That's amazing.
Aw. So, yeah, that one was the first staff knife collection video that we did. Right,
staff collection video. It was like because I met him when I was actually working at Knifewear. I was the customer and he was the employee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. and we went out, a couple drinks. The Amsterdam Rhinos. You probably don't know.
Yeah.
You probably don't know. There's the pub where the brew pub on the 10th. Anyways.
Okay.
So it's got some things, but we have the Toru Forge Tetsujin, and hoping to have more in come in future as well. We want to retain that relationship as well. But it's not. He does such a great job. He does such great job.
Beautiful.
I gave my mom one of Toru-san's Tsujihikis, the Tomoshibi, and wow, that thing is incredible. Slicing raw fish like it's not there.
For how much the cost per performance, Tomoshibi is like one of the top.
Yeah.
Like even considering like a lot of other blacksmithing and the sharpening in Sakai, this sits pretty much close to the top for the cost and balance, like everything. Anyway, so that's that. Yeah, I'm glad that someone actually asked, but because I had the Myojin's the Tetsujin knife like right here. I was going to talk about it next, but alrighty.
In between,
Hi.
Scott asks, are Takamura Uchigumo ever coming back to North America?
That's hard questions to ask.
Yeah, right?
He seems like he's...
Good question. I'll figure it out.
He likes to talk to those chefs and professionals directly. I don't know. He puts the stories off from this Japanese chef using his Uchigumo and stuff. And I remember back in 3 or 4 years ago when this Japanese TV drama featured on a chef, chef drama, live action, and they featured their Uchigumo line, but
So you're gonna have to get some serious clout to get
I have no
Takamura to
idea
notice
how.
you.
because like any knife stores that I've been to while in Japan, I could not locate any.
Yeah.
Like since 5, 6, and now I feel like I should have actually bought Uchigumo when I saw them in this store in Kappabashi.
They're hard to come by now.
No. Looks like no one retail store be able to stock them. So
Yeah.
yes.
All
Well,
right.
some reminder there.
We are doing a live stream for our garage sale, which runs from May 15th till May 22nd. So we're right in the middle of it. It's such a fun time of year at Knifewear. We bring in a whole bunch of different knives. So knives from new makers or new lines from old makers. We got some really affordable stuff. We got some rare stuff. It's a cool time to check out some new knives. If you're just looking to get into the world of Japanese knives, we got all these live streams where we're talking about the knives that we've brought in. And of course, we still have all of our regular stock knives, but if you're in one of the cities where we have a store, so that's us in Calgary here, or Edmonton, Vancouver, Ottawa, and soon to be Toronto, you can come on down to the store and pick these knives up and hold them. But not everyone lives in one of those cities. So here we are live streaming away, letting you know what's still left from garage sale, some of the real hot deals, some of the rare, cool finds, what has just come in. There have been a few things that are kind of last minute that just popped up. And what I see Naoto pulling out here is a whole bunch of Tsunehisa knives.
So just you can't really talk about the garage sale without good deals, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So we every year, since that last time, the last garage sale, we started doing this real sale. It makes sense, I think, right? So all the knives with the Tsunehisa on them are Tsunehisa. So Tsunehisa, Tsunehisa knives are all 20% off during the garage sale.
Amazing.
20% off is actually really, really good because when you look at something like, yes, this. I actually had this one. This was, I thought I had, this, here, found it. Here, this knife, VG1, it's really simple. It's really nice and thin like this. Nice, thin behind the edge.
Yeah.
Really nicely made. VG1 stainless steel. It will hold stitch pretty good. Hardness wise, it's actually about the same as VG10. It's it's got about the same carbon content, so it's really nice and hard. It's really nice and pretty, and it's got the metal bolster right here, and really nice handle there. This one here is 110 original. That is original. So from that, if you take the 20% off, that's $88. 88 Canadian. If you're tuning in from the States, of course, you get another extra 25% off or something.
With the exchange rate, yeah. Basically.
Looks like it. But the here, $88, you get really nice all-round balanced, well-balanced knife. This one, to find it, it's the Tsunehisa VG1 Weston Gito, I believe.
That's a killer deal.
Yeah.
To get a knife like that for under 100 Canadian, anyone who's looking for a good, reliable knife, doesn't want to break the bank, or maybe you're looking for a gift. I often recommend Tsunehisa knives as gifts when, wedding season's coming and it's someone's first Japanese knife. Something like VG1, it's not as hard as other steels. Like it'll still hold an edge way longer than your average knife, but it's not quite as delicate as some. Nice and stainless.
Yeah.
Great gift knife.
Oh, even something like this here. White number 2 carbon steel with stainless clad. It's really nice. It's got the, I don't know, Japanese like hammered pattern with the little some like coarse finish to it. Like some call it nashiji finish. Like hammer pattern was nashiji. White carbon number 2 with the stainless clad. So all you have to worry about is about rusting is just along the edge, the shiny part. Super light, super thin. Yeah, 198, 466. And it's got a beautiful like cherry handle with the white paca color to it. There are a lot of good deals. Like if you actually go again, Tsunehisa or the sale section, there's like quite a few very priced knives on the sale section. Not only just Tsunehisa, actually there are hidden sale items as well.
Yeah, these Tsunehisa knives are great. I think I've said 3 times already in this live stream how much I love a core of Aogami Super with a cladding of stainless on the outside. We got a couple of those here. This is a carbon steel that's going to hold its edge longer than some carbon steels while not rusting as quickly as others. So like this guy, beautiful hammering on it, carbon core stainless cladding, but it's that harder carbon. The welded bolster too. I'm a big fan of a welded bolster where it's rounded in here, because if I grab onto that balance, it's balanced perfectly. I've got one finger on it, just right in the bolster there. Feels so comfortable. That's under 200 Canadian for that. That's a lot of knife for the money.
I actually bought this exact knife for my dad.
Yeah?
And it reminded me that Father's Day is coming up too. Like,
oh yeah.
Tis the season for like,
Isn't that?
Mother's Day, Father's Day, groomsmen's gifts.
Yeah.
Wedding season is going on right now. I'm going to a wedding in a couple of weeks.
That's a great idea, Sky.
Yeah.
With wedding season coming up and whatnot, it's a great time to buy knives. You've got the wedding coming. You get invited to these things months in ahead. So why not buy the knife now? Get yourself a Tsunehisa 20% off and just save it for the wedding.
That's what I'm doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's my favorite hack.
Another deal. So each store, some store may still have some of their own, but we often have some. Like if you ever come to our stores, you probably have experienced this. You come to the store, you get to try our knives. On the tomatoes, on the potatoes, carrots, whatnot, right? But these knives sometimes gets the, we can't just keep the one knife forever, right?
Yep.
So we, sharpen them, and garage sale is this great time to the revitalize or, change it up. So we have, and sometimes like very slightly damaged knives, and we restore them. We have these restored. These are all probably old demos, right?
Yep.
So those are old demos used in actually a Calgary store, and they rebuffed, repolished, resharpened, and ready to go. And these are on the website right now with anywhere from like very simple, like this one here hasn't done much. So anywhere from 20% to 35% off. It is under the product code the Scratch Dead, Retired Demo, and Refurbished, something like that. And there's a drop-down menu to choose the each knife from. Like this one is done really well done. It's been thin, it's polished. This actually may cut a little bit better than the original because it's a little bit thinner.
That's right. So we have these demo knives, right? And we put them out and we want people to have the experience of cutting with a new knife. And then once it comes time to sharpen them, then it's maybe not quite like exactly the knife that you would get out of the box. So it's been a great opportunity for my staff to take these demo knives, and when it comes time for that sharpening, sharpen them up, tune them up, refinish them best we can. But also people have been spending a little extra time on these, right? This is kind of the spa day finish to make them a little shinier, make them a little smoother, just so that people who are buying a knife from garage sale, a refurbished knife, they're getting something really nice, actually.
Yeah, it's not just the it's not as is, right? Like it's been
these
really nicely polished and buffed, and it's ready to go. It probably performs, and some of them may perform better than the original condition, like when it out of box. Then and great deals. So it's great. Like if you still, I'm not sure if they're still there. We did the we did press the switch, activate these products, so they're still there. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to take individual pictures of, but you kind of get an idea.
But that's why we're here now.
Yeah.
So you can see them.
I'll lay out the names for you if you want to search for these under that retired demo scratch and dent section.
Yeah.
Masashi Kuroshu, the Haruyuki Goma, the Hibana from Miyabi. We got the Haruyuki Shiso, the Tojiro Atelier Gyuto, and then the Haruyuki Soba Santoku.
Yes.
I would be running, not walking, towards that shiso, because like a hot rodded shiso is one of the greatest things that you can get.
Yeah.
Like this knife is probably currently better than it comes out of the box.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice finish.
A little
and
shorter,
it is
but
a little thinner than a brand new shiso. It's not too thin. We didn't want to make it, crazy thin, so it's not like a new shiso, but this has probably been improved a little bit by that sharpening in terms of the cutting performance. And Skye speaks about this from experience because she has a shiso that she thinned out and
I love it.
quite loves.
I think we can talk about what question. Did you get any knives from this garage sale
Myself personally?
or if there's anything that what was your favorite knife?
Ooh, well, I'll tell you the knife that I'm planning on buying because my mom came into the store and did a little shopping and dropped some significant hints. That is the Mutsumi Hinura Ajikataya Kurochi 210 Gyuto. So what she really liked about this when she came into the store is that it's got this dark look to it, but it doesn't look too rustic. It actually looks quite smooth and even, right? The core steel is nice and polished, but that kurouchi is really smooth. Also, the handles on these, gorgeous. That's olive wood, which is not something I've seen in any other knife handles, but the grain on these is stunning. The water buffalo horn collar often has some really cool detailing. Hard to see because it's kind of dark, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah, absolutely, it's a beautiful
knife.
piece.
Yeah. So that's probably what I'm going to buy from my mom here, if there's any.
How about for yourself?
For myself?
We're all just out here buying knives for our moms. Who are we to deny our mothers?
I think I've talked about this.
Ooh, I love this one.
Sakai Kikumori Rin, Gyuto, or the any shape from the Kikumori Rin series is great. As you can see, the bevel on this one is so even. If you reflect the light like this, it just doesn't have any low spots or any like unevenness to it. Super thin behind the edge, yet there isn't much we call it very nerdy term, overexposure on the core steel, so that it doesn't, it's not as fragile. Really nicely made, and Nashiji finish is such like one of their feature, right? In Sakai, this finish is not really a thing. But forged by the Yoshikazu Tanaka-san, he is such talented blacksmith, be able to like finish this with this really nice rustic finish here. Yet, a lot of Nashiji finish knives, they often have the, it's not a good example, Kikumori, Nashiji, I remember seeing them somewhere there. Okay, so
yeah.
if you look regular Nashiji finish, this line is not as, clean. It is nice though, right? But you still see it's not got a little bump because it's how it's hammers, right? But it's so nice. Like, come on. I think it's too shiny. Like, look how straight this is.
Well, we've got a couple of questions coming up here, but first, Mike was wondering about the Tojiro Atelier Gyuto that we've got down there, the refurbished one. Can you just give us a couple of fun facts about this, and then we can head back into some questions?
Tojiro Atelier, it's great, forged by the Tomo Matsumura-san. He's also, guess where he learned his skill? Yoshikane.
That's the place.
Yes. But he elevated from there. He makes it really nice and thin behind like the spine as well, not as like super thick. VG10 stainless steel with the like 63 layer or whatever, like makes it really look pretty. Because it's been refurbed or redone a little bit, it's not as thin, right? Like this particular one is a little bit more robust. It is thin enough to be able to cut when you cut in the carrots, things like that, there is no, I guess like, what's the word? I just like blanked out.
Very little resistance.
Yes.
Because it's so thin.
You would not have any stress, I guess, cutting through the potatoes and stuff. But it is a little bit thicker than the original, so that it is more robust. It's not going to chip as easy.
Yeah. Other fun facts about the Tojiro Atelier line. So forged by Tomo Matsumura, who's the head blacksmith at Tojiro Atelier. And his apprentice, Sayaka Kouda, is quite possibly the first female blacksmith in Japan. People at some point didn't think that was something that women could or should be doing. And Tojiro decided to give Sayaka-san a chance. And she's been crushing it for a few years now. So that's really cool to see a forward-thinking company putting out such awesome knives like that. I grabbed a knife here. It's part of the Tsunihisa line because I actually own this one. And anyone who knows me knows that I'm a big fan of Chinese-style chef's knives. This is a chukabocho, the Japanese version of a Chinese chef's knife. And it's 20% off right now, so real good deal, 123 something Canadian. This is relatively thin, behind the edge. But because of the steel, this is SK4, which is a type of steel that's more commonly found in axes and machetes and stuff. It's relatively tough and durable. So I've chopped through a ton of chicken thighs with mine, and it'll cut it clean. It's not like grabbing a bone cleaver to cut through a chicken and just obliterating it into a pile of shards. This cuts it nice and clean if you want to put that into stock or if you're making like a Hainanese chicken rice. But also it's thin enough, especially up towards the front, that you could use it to slice and dice and mince. So great for someone who's looking to get into the world of chukabocho and maybe doesn't want to spend too much money because it's super affordable. But really a great knife, rosewood handle. I'm a big fan. It's great value.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, well, gotta spread the cleaver gospel, folks.
Colin found the one chukabocho on the table.
Yeah, right.
He was like,
No one is surprised who knows me.
I think I used that one at your place when we had that chicken and rice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was great. Such a great knife. All right, winding up a little bit here. We had a question earlier. Somebody was looking for some neat nikiris.
Yeah.
Yes,
Awesome.
we do have those.
We have some neat.
Yeah, we looked at the
Nakiri.
Mizaki earlier, which I thought was really lovely.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Nakiri in the this selection here. So it depends on what you're looking at there. So let's start from something a little bit more like really great deals. VG1 with the brown handle, Tsunehisa. It's 123 with 20% off of the 103. Stainless steel. It's simple. It doesn't break your bank. It is a little bit shallower. Like any knives that's made in this region, it's actually made in Seki, a little bit shallower. What that means is that there aren't that much height, I guess, on the behind the edge. It still has enough for my knuckle, I think your knuckle as well.
Yep.
But some people find that it's a bit shallower. But if you're looking for great deals, Tsunehisa Nakiris like this one for 108 or this one for 137.60 Aogami with the stainless clad. These are great. If you're looking for something a little bit more like handmade stuff, I would probably first start from looking at something like called Mune Ishi. Mune, M-U-N-E. Ishi, I-S-H-I, Mune Ishi, blue carbon steel core, stainless steel clad on the outside, makes it really easy for edge maintenance in terms of the rust because it's got a stainless on the outside, but it's got a nice tall, relatively heavier blade so that it helps to glide into the food really nice, and it's really well made. Like for the price of the 198, it's really well made, handmade knife.
It's a lot of knife for the money. Mm-hmm. And if you like a Nakiri that's a little bit taller, it's not like super tall, but it's definitely a little taller than the Tsunehisa ones.
Mm-hmm. And we have the Mutsumi Hinora.
Mutsumi Hinora, the Ajikateya, the Kurouchi Tsuchime. The Tsuchime, the hammering on this is really even. Like it's really one after another. It's almost got like a honeycomb kind of effect. And a little thicker spine on that. So kind of hard to see with the focus there, but it's got some weight to it. This isn't like a really light Nakiri, but it's still nice and thin behind the edge. So it'll chop those veggies great. Super flat edge too.
And we have the Ginyo.
Ginyo. This is from Hatsu Kokoro.
Yeah.
And the Damascus pattern on this is really tight.
I love looking at it on the camera,
Oh,
though. It's
man.
like just
It
so
pops.
intricate.
Yeah. This is a pretty thin knife. It's a lot lighter than some of the other ones that we picked up here. Nice polish on the spine and choil there.
It is made by the Yaoji-san, who who is a former apprentice of the Kitaoka-san. So he's actually the single bevel guy. Now he makes double bevel that looks and works actually really, really good. Like the first batch was pretty thick, and I personally didn't like it because it was a little bit thicker than how the double bevel should be. So that one is really, really good. It's got improved quite a bit in the last like few batches.
Yep. Nice taper on it.
If you are looking for something like super cool, unique, and new steel, VG Zeos. So Yukurosaki and even actually we'll probably see them soon. Makoto Kurosaki. The Take Special Steel, the knife steel manufacturer, one of the biggest knife steel manufacturer in Japan, started developing the new steel derived from the VG10, the really popular steel, into VG. It's called Zeos. Apparently, they have like more hardness, and it has it is harder, and it has more corrosion resistant, so it won't rust as easy. I mean, have you seen the VG10 rusted?
Rarely, but you got to abuse it.
Like, I mean, yeah, you have to really abuse it.
Yeah.
Or I've seen like some the pinhole rust that probably caused by some of the bleach or some like chloride happening. Anyways, so this definitely seems like has more corrosion resistance to it. It's really, really nice. Thin behind the edge. Love this like shinogi or this sharpening line. This Yukurosaki Gekko, 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 or the Moonlight Nakiri. This is really nice. It's got a nice tall bevel. Mike was saying, the little drop on the spine will technically make the edge a little bit taller.
Yeah, it makes more knuckle clearance without adding more weight
Exactly.
by actually having a taller blade. Smart design.
One more thing, the Hatsukokoro Kurosagi Nakiri. This one here, it's not, well, it's kind of thin, but not as thin behind the edge as the other ones. But if you're looking for some like great food separation, this is great. Aogami Super, no stainless clad, but the so it retains the edge really, really long time and has really pretty decent food separation. It's called Hatsukokoro Kurosagi, and it's only $230 on this one. So
That's a great deal.
yeah,
Quite the Nakiri lineup.
yeah.
Lots of
Well,
neat
we still have
Nakiris.
quite a few Nakiris left. So
Yeah, no kidding. We had a really good Nakiri selection this year. All right, we had a little request for the Tosa whale knife. And maybe while we show that off a little bit, we've been getting some Masashi love in the comments section. Our buddy Bran was asking if we could briefly explain the differences between Masashi Kaijin and Kokuen.
okay.
Yeah.
He's looking at a petty from one of those lines, mainly for trimming meat. I think I would go Kokuen just because it's a little bit thinner, but depends what you want and what you like, you know? And Charminator was wondering if either of us own any Masashi Koi knives. He got one right before the cutoff.
Nice.
No, but I wish I had one every day.
We only have this one in the warehouse. We have 4 different kinds.
Yeah, we got a whole little lineup.
Yeah,
a
mink
whole whale
whale,
pod.
sperm whale. I don't know what else.
Fin whale.
Fin whale.
Two different mink
whale.
whales, the fin whale. This
Right.
is the sperm whale.
Yep.
As I understand it, the blacksmith who make these started with this one. This is the original, wanting to make a knife for his kid that wouldn't have a point on it, right? And was cute. And then now we have 4 different ones. They're kind of like Pokemon. You got to catch them all. And they are great as an actual knife. It's 3 layers of steel, good hard steel. So this would be great for like peeling, that sort of stuff, or
Garlic.
people use them as charcuterie knives. So imagine you have your little pod of whales out for charcuterie and cheese.
Yeah. But
45 Canadian dollars.
I think the idea was to have something like that so that the kids in that area, like Tosa area, are familiar with the knives, like a sharp object, because it's the time. Because like my grandparents' age, they always carry a like higonokami or those folding knives to schools and stuff. Now, bringing a knife to the school, you don't get that good consequence. You probably have to go to the principal's office and stuff, right? But still, it's a culture, I think. Something because like people carry those higonokami to sharpen their pencils with and do a little bit of crafts with, things like that, right? We have it's called taketombo. The direct translation is the bamboo dragonfly. But basically, what it is that you have a bamboo skewer and you make the 2 propeller.
Okay.
Using the like those knives and make it a little slanted, like it's a propeller, right? And you do this to
Oh, and it flies.
it flies.
That's cool.
So to make that kind of stuff, you need a little blade, and you adjust them right because you have to bevel one side and the other, and if it's uneven, it doesn't fly. Like those kind of stuff has been kind of lost in the last like 45, 50 years. So one of the idea of bringing and making something cute like this to familiarize, like to make those kids get familiar with those cultures that they can. So
Super cool.
Awesome.
so that's kind of cool stuff, right?
Well, should we talk a little bit about who we are and what we're doing here, and then we can jump into some accessories?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, this is our garage sale live stream. We're midway through because our spring garage sale this year runs May 15th to 22nd. And we're talking about knives that are still left and amazing, and we can't believe that they haven't been snapped up yet. There's a few late arrivals. We are adding a few scratch and dent refurbished knives. So we're kind of showing those off because there aren't pictures of them even on the website yet. But garage sale is all about having some different stuff in the store, whether that's something super affordable or something rare and collectible or something in between. New knives from old makers that we've dealt with before, or new knives from makers that we've never dealt with before. It's just a great time of year to see some different stuff, to get some deals, to find some rare things to add to the collection.
Yes. So, yeah.
We've got some accessories that are on sale. Horace and Jasper are local to us here in Calgary, and they make some really nice products. These are knife rolls. They are made of canvas with these nice leather toggles on them, and they are 20% off right now. In fact, I believe all of the Horace and Jasper stuff is 20% off. They make some nice leather rolls. So I'm just going to open this up and try and show you this. So there's room for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 knives there. And on the other side, there's a spot with some elasticized bits for accessories. It's a nice, light knife roll. You know, great if you are transporting your knives around in a bag, or you're just going to kind of tuck the knives under your hand. It's got the Horace and Jasper logo and the Knifewear logo on the 2 leather toggles.
And it comes in different colors, like red,
3
green.
different colors. So I think normally these are $80, but right now they're 20% off. So that's,
$16 off.
yeah, it's a great deal. Really, really nice. And you know, it's not just for chefs who transport their knives to and from work. I know there are people who maybe live in a house where they can't let the other people who live in the house use their knives. They can't trust them with their knives. So, you know, you want to just bring your knives out, use them, and then put them away somewhere safe. Also great for that. Ooh, Naoto's got a special way of tying.
Nothing. It's
No?
just this knot.
Oh, it looks so nice.
Well, the Kevin will come catch you.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Ooh,
Here,
okay.
yeah.
I have been schooled. Speaking of Kevin, we've always got copies of his book around. This is an amazing reference on the Japanese knife industry, the people who make the knives, all the different knife shapes. Also, photos by Vistikyar. I mean, this is really an inside look into things that not everyone gets to see, right? There's a whole section that gets super nerdy, written by Naoto here about different steels.
That needs updated too. I can add a lot more now.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have a second edition. Yeah, stuff on knife shapes, how to build a knife collection. Oh, there's a picture of Kasumi, the former manager of the Toronto or of the Calgary store, who's off in Toronto opening a new location for us. Should be open June 1st. Great book. I think it's 45 Canadian. Yeah, 45 Canadian.
Yep. We got something new this garage sale that when it comes to accessories. I'm trying to test the water. Like they're testing the water on this one. This product, honing rods. We've been, we had honing rods for the longest time that we can think of. This is a great tool to keep your knife, edge really nice and sharp. It's, instead of, putting out those sharpening stones, these comes really handy if you're just gonna, in the kitchen, your knife is not performing as well as they should. Just take out these and do a bit of a honing technique. They just came up with the new shape. Looks the same? No, wait, it's actually the oval. So it does have much better, like flatter surface on the one side, so it grabs the edge a little bit better. When I actually tested on these ones, you can definitely feel this has more grab to it. So I imagine it hones them a little bit faster. But what I like about this is that this narrow side, because this narrow side is narrow enough to go into most of the serration. So you can just do one serration at a time to make that little hone your bread knives with as well.
Yep.
These are $75, I believe, but when you purchase with a knife, it's half price. That's all the honing rods are half price when you buy a knife anyway. But so we extend the deal to this oval honing rod as well, and see how it goes. And they may be able to make a white one, or in the future.
Of course, a honing rod won't work forever. At some point, you're not going to be able to just do maintenance. You're actually going to need to grind some steel. And so we have a whole line of sharpening stones from Knifewear. And I've used all these stones, they're great. The combination stones are a little smaller, a little less expensive, right? They don't remove steel quite as quickly as the other ones, but they're a great value. And then the full-size Knifewear stones, they come in a progression, 220, there's a 1,000 grit, which we don't have one here, but there is a 1,000 grit, the 4,000, 8,000. So, you know, if you're sharpening Western knives, maybe you start on a 220 and then you finish on a 1,000, and that'll give it enough bite that it'll go into a tomato skin, but it'll still be smooth on meat. If you're using Japanese knives, going up to a higher grit is nice. When I'm sharpening customer knives, usually finish the edge somewhere between 2,000 and 5,000, depending on the knife. That kind of gives it a little bit more polish, makes it a little smoother, a little sharper feeling. So finishing knives on this Knifewear 4,000, that's a beautiful all-around finish for most kitchen knives, if they're Japanese steel anyway.
And if you're like dedicating a knife, say Yanagiba or slicing knife or something that, you know, finishing with 8,000 grit is fantastic for something that ones that wouldn't touch on the cutting board as much, like the Yanagiba, you just like slice them. Raw fish that should not have any pulling or those effect, 8,000 is great. And also this stone is really favored by a lot of carpenters who uses the chisels or the plane blades with, because they makes the edge really nice and even and small. So when you're using the plane blades, it doesn't shred up the wood that they were planing.
If you don't know how to sharpen, we've got some great videos on our YouTube channel featuring Naoto here. He'll walk you through all the different equipment and how to use it. We also teach sharpening classes at all of our stores. You can register for those online. We usually do them a couple times a week. It's a 2-hour class. You know, you got to bring your own knife to sharpen. We recommend bringing a knife you don't really care about too much, because you will get it sharp. It might not be pretty if you've never done it before, but it's $100. You get a $50 credit at the end of the class. You get 10% off on sharpening equipment. So if you want to get into sharpening, hit us up and we can help you with that for sure.
And yeah, $100. All you have to do is just bring your knife, and we have all the demo sharpening stones, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Yeah. We also have, you know, the Knifewear bag and holders for your knives. So we were talking about the Horace and Jasper rolls that are on sale right now. I think regardless of which style of knife roll you're using, whether it's the Knifewear one or the Horace and Jasper one, you should still put your knives in blade guards. Some people don't do that, and then you can end up cutting up your bag, or worse, if your bag is full and two knives are side by side, they can bash against each other and get chipped. So make sure, even if it's in a bag, you put some blade guards in it just to keep your knife safe and make your bag last a little longer. I think there was a question there that we didn't quite answer about Masashi and the difference between the Kokuen and the Kaijin lines.
Right.
Yeah. Speaking of Masashi, almost all the Santoku refurbished ones you brought sold while we were talking about them.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's good. So Kokuen Kaijin is one of the two new lines that he came up with. Kaijin has the really nice, beautiful Nishiji finish with the VS1 steel in the core. The Kokuen, it's got a black smoke, right? So it's got really beautiful kuroji with the transition from the core steel SLD to the stainless steel on the outside is like kind of smoky. So that's why it's called Kokuen, like black smoke, right? For the thickness, as far as thickness goes, Kokuen is definitely thinner.
Yep.
Some of the knives that he forged, it's stunningly and almost like scary thin. The thinness of the Kokuen, especially when you're trimming the meat and stuff, comes handy for getting into getting behind the sinew or taking those things off for sure. When it comes to the steel, VS1 may have a bit of advantage because of what he calls it. VS1 has a bit more bitier edge, and it is say if you're looking to compare the Honesuki of SLD and VS1, I would definitely recommend the VS1 because of the characteristics of that more bitiness of the edge because it keeps going. According to Masashi, what he was saying is that the VS1 steel is really designed for the meat, right?
Yep.
But
Yeah, I remember using a koi tsujihiki, which is the same steel, right?
Yeah.
And the way that it bites into the meat, it's not like toothy in the sense of it doesn't feel rough, but it's bitey, like it really grabs in and cuts very nicely.
So you can do really good job with either. Right? I mean, like as I said, it has like Kokuen definitely has the advantage of the thin.
Yeah, it's
Thinness.
super thin.
Yeah. Where I mean, like, don't get me wrong, Kaijin is still thin.
It's relative, right?
Relative,
All
yeah.
Masashi's knives are really thin, but
Yeah.
between those two lines, Kokuen's a little thinner than Kaijin.
Yeah. So you will go like really good either way. We're still waiting on some of the knives, Kaijin and Kokuen. We're still waiting on some to come in. So hopefully. But he's working his butt off, really. Yeah.
Yeah, Masashi has quite a work ethic from what I hear.
Yeah.
He works really hard.
Yeah. Too hard. Only day off he's getting is on the airplane.
Wow.
Oh no.
So.
Was there another question there, Sky?
Yeah, we've got one from Tak. He says, I've noticed that most, if not all, Japanese knives have kanji engraved on the blade. What do they say, and why don't they use kana?
Oh. Well, the kana is like mostly kana is like a phonetic, right? The hiragana or katakana. Katakana is a phonetic when we use the when katakana we use them to write the word that we got it from, mostly, not all of them, but mostly from the outside of Japan, like the Western words, and we write the kat. That one is actually a really good example.
So this is the Gihei, which doesn't have kanji. It actually has kana. It says Gihei.
So
But-
some people use, like say this one, Hatsukokoro is this is the kanji, the branding, but the sub-brand line is called, this one's called Komorebi, and Komorebi they use the hiragana.
Oh, there we go.
Some knife makers do use hiragana, like Gihei-san does. I know a few other do, but mostly kanji. Sometimes it has to do with the like, I guess, how many words that goes in there. Sometimes, right? Because like if you're gonna put aji kataya, it's like aji kataya. 5 characters instead of like ajikata, like 3.
And of course, we also get Romaji, the Roman alphabet, which we use in English. This one says Pro-M. I mean, it does have the kanji there for the name of the company, but then it's got the name of the steel, molybdenum vanadium, and made in Japan in English. Or Miyabi has both the kanji and the Romaji on it. This is one of the scratch and dent ones that we were talking about earlier. Just $256 for that guy.
Sometimes the like when it comes to, say, for example, Moritaka, it's a family. Moritaka is a family name, right? And family name, they write in the kanji like all, except only if you like say my name is written all in kanji, like 4 characters. But you could use hiragana too. Like my wife. First name is all hiragana. She doesn't have a kanji to it. But often people do get the kanji because, kanji or the Chinese character, it is more of the, it each has its own meaning to it, right? Yeah. So even like me, Naoto, can be written in different ways and can mean little different things. Anyways, but like Moritakas, they do write their ancestors, like first swordsmith name, right?
Kondo Hyoe Minamoto Moritaka.
Yeah, like this, right?
Mark was wondering if you could show how you tie the knots on the knife roll.
Oh, what's that called? What's that knot called? the
What do you mean?
Kevin was calling it something.
All right, let's see if
So-
I can do this. So
It's easy. Like I'm just gonna keep right hand. Right goes top,
yep.
and the right goes top.
Right goes top.
Oh wait.
Wait, no, no,
Wait,
no.
wait. That was wrong. Never mind.
Did I do that right? No, that looks different the way you did it before.
Sorry. The
So is it a double knot?
double knot. Sorry. One
Not
goes
quite.
on top. Always goes on top.
Oh, sorry.
so
Could you move
that
it a
goes
little bit
this.
forward? We can't quite
Then-
see that.
Sorry. Never mind. Sorry. I did it wrong. So so here. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, we've got somebody
This-
that knows. Lorenzo says it's called a square or reef knot.
Yeah. Leaf knot.
Reef knot.
Reef
So,
knot. Okay.
Yeah. This right. This goes always to the top. So that top. So that goes top, and
Yeah.
this one goes down the top. I think. Yeah. That's.
Ah, there we go.
So yeah. That makes square knot.
I learned stuff today.
Yes.
Every day is a learning day.
There you go.
Well, you got Kevin's off because Kevin will come to the store and do all the wrong knots, the leaf knots, and tell you how to do the leaf knots.
Great. Passing on that knowledge. Thank you.
He hasn't done it for you.
No.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna open the floor up for any more Q&A that you have. But in the meantime, can go through our housekeeping notes.
Housekeeping notes: we're doing this live stream. It's a garage sale live stream. Last one we did an opening on Friday. Well, we started on Monday, but we did a whatchamacallit, the
Preview.
preview
Unboxing.
unboxing on the Friday last week. We did a marathon on Monday, and this is a kind of wrap up and kind of try to follow up on the things, late arrivals and stuff like that. The garage sale started from 15th of May and runs until 22nd, the Monday, and probably midnight. And there are still a lot of great deals, 20% off Haruyukis, so as the some other actually not a hidden, but the sale. There is a sale section online so that you can see all the sold items there as well as like still some of the cool one-off cool handles, custom handles, knives are still online, available online to purchase. And yeah, and some housekeeping stuff. We are coming to Toronto for you guys. The Kasumi, who used to be a manager of the Calgary store, had moved to Toronto and now working super hard. I don't know how many hours she's working right now.
12 hours a day.
Yeah, to get the store set up. So hopefully, well, we will open our doors on June 1st, and we will have the grand opening on 17th of June, the Saturday. We will have Moritaka, one of the Moritaka-sans, come in to visit us and doing a little bit of lecture, a little bit of talk, of course Q&A. We're kind of working to see if he can do a little bit of engraving on the Moritaka knives. Well, that's pending, but they're hoping to do some, hitting metal action, right?
Something with pizzazz.
Something that ain't, like think kind of sound. So that's on the plan. Oh, by the way, Moritaka-san is not just going to Toronto. He will do Toronto and Vancouver. So for those people in Vancouver, he will do the very similar stuff in Van as well. Following, I think, Tuesday. So we'll see you there as well. Okay?
Excellent. All right. So we also have a couple of pop-ups. We've got Victoria, June 3rd and 4th at the Victoria Public Market. And then Montreal is coming up later that month. I believe it's also the 17th, 18th kind of area. I would have to double check the dates, but that one is going to be coming announced on mailouts and socials pretty soon. And if there are no more questions, then I think that kind of wraps us up for the day.
Yeah.
This has been a great set of live streams. Thanks everybody for coming along for the ride. And we'll see you when we see you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
All right.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.